Hello everyone, in this session we are going to study about flame photometry. It is one of the spectroscopic technique which is used for qualitative as well as quantitative estimation of the metals. Flame photometry is also known as flame atomic emission spectroscopy. It is the branch of spectroscopy in which the species examined in the spectrometer are in the form of atoms. Hence, it is a type of atomic spectroscopy. So, let us now see what is spectroscopy. Spectroscopy is a study of interaction between matter and electromagnetic radiation. Now, we know whenever a light is incident on any object, or you can say sample, the sample can absorb the light, transmit the light, or reflect the light, depending on the properties of entity of which the sample consists of. So this gives rise to a peculiar spectra which can be studied with the help of a spectrometer. Here diagrammatically it is shown what is spectroscopy. You can see that when the electromagnetic radiation is emitted on a sample, is incident on a sample, it gives rise to a spectrum which can be read with help of a device. Spectroscopy is again of two types, absorption and emission, which we will see in subsequent slides. Before that, let us have a look at differences between atomic spectroscopy and molecular spectroscopy. Atomic spectroscopy, it is the study of electromagnetic radiation absorbed and emitted by atoms, whereas in molecular spectroscopy, it is the study of electromagnetic radiation absorbed and emitted by the molecules. Thus, in atomic spectroscopy, chemical species involved is atom, whereas in molecular spectroscopy, we can determine the structure of molecules in the given sample. In atomic spectroscopy, atoms move to an excited state from a ground state, whereas in molecular spectroscopy, molecules move to an excited state from the ground state. Atomic spectroscopy is again divided into absorption spectroscopy, emission spectroscopy, and third you can say mass spectroscopy. Absorption spectroscopy, it is atomic absorption spectroscopy. Whereas emission spectroscopy, it includes flame emission spectroscopy, inductively coupled plasma atomic emission spectroscopy, or optical emission spectroscopy. In mass spectroscopy, it is again another branch. So absorption spectroscopy refers to the spectroscopic technique that measures the absorption of radiation as a function of frequency or wavelength due to its interaction with the sample. So you can see that when atoms move to the excited state from the ground state, during this they absorb some energy in the form of photons. Okay. So, radiation which is absorbed by the sample varies from sample to sample. Emission spectroscopy, it is a spectroscopic technique which examines the wavelength of photons emitted by the atoms or molecules during the transition from an excited state to a lower energy state. Now, any atom or molecule cannot stay into the excited state for longer time. So once they move into excited state, they immediately return to the ground state, and during this process they emit some photons, or you can say radiation. So again the radiation which are emitted on returning to the ground state, it varies from sample to sample. Flame photometry is based on the measurement of intensity of light emitted when a metal is introduced into the flame. So basically it is the emission spectroscopy, because here we are going to study the intensity of light which is emitted when a metal is subjected to a flame. So wavelength of the color will tell us what element is present, and intensity of the color tells us how much element is present. Thus It is used for both quantitative as well as qualitative applications. Now, flame photometry is also known as flame emission spectroscopy because of the use of flame to provide energy of excitation to atoms introduced into the flame. Let us see the principle of flame photometry. The compounds of alkali and alkaline earth metals, that is group 2, they dissociate into the atoms when introduced into the flame. Some of these atoms further get excited to even higher levels. So as you can see, this is just a revision of various energy levels. You can see 1s, 2s, 2p. So on excitation, the atoms can rise subsequently. The electrons can go subsequently from 1s to 2s, then to 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, and so on. But being unstable at higher level, these atoms emit radiation while returning back to the ground state, and these radiation generally lie in the visible region of the spectrum. Each of alkali and alkaline earth metals, they have a specific wavelength. As you can see, sodium will emit the wavelength of 589 nanometer, which gives the flame yellow color. Potassium will emit 766 nanometer, which gives the flame violet color. So barium, lime green color, calcium, orange, lithium, red color. For certain concentration ranges, the intensity of emission is directly proportional to the number of atoms returning to the ground state. Hence, it can also be used for quantitative application. So let us now see the overview of the process which is done in flame photometry. So as you can see in the diagram, the solvent is first aspirated to obtain the solid particles. So you can see that aspiration is done to obtain an aerosol. Now these solid particles, they are then vaporized in the flame to gaseous state. Now a part of gaseous molecules or all the gaseous molecules, they are progressively dissociated to give free neutral atoms or radicals. As you can see, molecules will thermally dissociate to give the atoms. So initially these atoms will be in the ground state, but they will absorb heat energy from the flame and they will go into the excited state. Now the atoms are highly unstable in the excited state, and hence they quickly return to the ground state. But when they return to the ground state, they will emit energy in the form of some radiations. So measurement of emitted photons radiation forms the basis of flame photometry. The intensity of emitted radiation is proportional to the concentration of the element. Thus you can see first solution or sample is aspirated in the form of aerosol. From aerosol it is converted into molecules. Molecules thermally dissociate to form atoms. Now these atoms absorb energy from the flame and they excite to higher level. But being unstable at higher level, they quickly return to ground state with emission of radiation or photons. So this is the basis of flame photometry. Thus again, this is just a quick revision. From liquid state it is vaporized to solid state, then it is transformed to gaseous state, it is atomized to neutral atoms, then they are excited to excited state and they return to ground state, and during this they emit radiation, and these radiations can be detected by the detector. So how you can calculate lambda max? So just have a look at the chart. If E2 and E1 represent the energy of higher and lower energy state, the radiation emitted during the jump can be given by the equation E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu, where nu is the frequency. Frequency is equal to c divided by lambda. c is the speed of light, h is Planck's constant. So from this equation we can calculate the lambda, that is wavelength of radiation. So it is equal to hc divided by E2 minus E1. The chart which is depicted here is known as Grotrian chart. It shows the allowed electronic transition between the energy level of the atoms. So it helps to determine that the electrons will transit from which level to which level, and accordingly we can calculate or we can know E2 and E1, that is the higher energy level and lower energy levels. Okay, so this was all about the principle of flame photometry, or you can say flame atomic emission spectroscopy. Thus, it is a spectroscopic technique in which we can study metals of group 1 and group 2. Both qualitative as well as quantitative analysis can be performed, but it is more suitable for quantitative analysis as compared to qualitative. In our next session, we will study about the instrumentation part. Thank you.